Whether you're working on your thesis, whether you're working on your dissertation, or whether you're working on your project, there are mistakes that you make that cost you a lot of time, that delay you from graduating, and these are mistakes that you can avoid. My name is Dr. Mary Mugo, the author of many books, among them Research Made Easy, a book that will help you graduate faster with fewer revisions, a book that will help you to do your research stress-free and in an easy way. You can get a copy of this book at Nuria Bookshop at Kenya shillings 1,500, or you can just call me, the author, on 0776 045 087. I'll give you the book at 1,000 shillings if you quote this video. Now let's look at the common mistakes that we make when we are coming up, or when we are doing our thesis, when we are doing our dissertation, or when we are doing our project. And you can find a lot of this information in that book, Research Made Easy. And it gives you information from how to select your topic to how to do your defense, and even how to publish articles so that you can graduate. And you can get more information on what is in this book at www.marymugo.com. One of the common mistakes that we make in research is having a title that is too broad or too narrow. These titles that are too broad become impossible to cover. Yet also too narrow titles, you may not get enough data. So you need to ensure that your topic is not too broad or too narrow. You can use your objectives and your scope to see the feasibility of your research. The other common mistake that we make is to rush the literature review. We need to understand that when you have a weak literature review, what happens is that you miss out. You need to ensure that you bring out the research gaps, and how your study fills in those research gaps. Because when your literature review is weak, then your study looks uninformed. The other mistake is we fail sometimes to align our objectives with our hypothesis and our methodology. You must ensure that you match your objectives with your methodology, match your hypothesis with your methodology. The mistake is wrong sampling techniques. You need to understand that when your sampling techniques are wrong, what that simply means is that your results are biased. So you must ensure that your sampling techniques are correct. And you must justify those sampling methods and the size clearly. The other very common mistake is a very weak data analysis. Data analysis is critical in any research. What happens is sometimes you use the wrong tests, and therefore you miss the link between your objectives and your results. When you use the wrong test, then the link between the results and the objectives doesn't happen. And that is a common mistake that we make in research. Therefore, you must tie your results with each of your objectives to back our arguments with evidence. When you don't do citations of what you have written, you're simply giving your opinion. You must be able to, have your arguments cited. You need to back your argument with evidence. And the best evidence is to reference and cite what other people have said about it. The other very common mistake is poor time management. Most are doing these things in a hurry. When you do things in a hurry, there are errors, there's a lot of stress. Do your things early. Do your research early. Don't do it as last minute. Because if you do, you'll have a lot of errors, you'll have a lot of stress, yet research is supposed to be something you are enjoying as you do. So avoid last minute and manage your time. And then finally, as a tip, always proofread your work. And also give a friend or a mentor to proofread it for you, because there are some mistakes that can be avoided. Typos, grammatical, missing pages. Proofread your work before you send to your supervisors. Proofread your work before you add in for examination, and get someone else to proofread for you. Very common mistakes, but avoidable. And as I've said, you can get more of this information in the book Research Made Easy, a book that helps you to do your research stress-free, a book that helps you to understand different pitfalls and how you can avoid them, and therefore making you graduate faster. Go to Nuria Bookshop, Moi Avenue, Bazaar, first floor, or just call the author on 0776 045 087. I wish you all the best as you do your thesis, as you do your dissertation, and as you do your project. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at info@marymugo.com, or you can call 0776 045 087, and we shall be able to discuss and see how best we can work together so that you graduate faster and you have a research that is minimal in terms of errors, because research shouldn't be difficult. That book demystifies the fact that people think research is very difficult. Thank you very much. God bless you. Buy a copy of the book, Research Made Easy, and God bless you. Thank you very much.